सनोतु सवीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वान्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवतीं भगवद्वेषिणीम्। यं नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे उल्लारविन्दारितपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणिने ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो गोदावोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः भोक्तां दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मर्यो न तथा जगद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्रामवती कृतेन वह्नि कर्णीनवेगाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सूतेना खलु पाण्डवैर्मण्डली कैवर्तककेशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं ज्ञानाख्यानकेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम्। लोके सज्जनषट्पदैश्वरः तेऽपीयमानं मुदा भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल रघ्वंसि न श्रेयसे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे करुणानिधिमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ज्ञानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। We were doing the 13th chapter of the Gita, lesson number 21 in the course. 13th chapter of the Gita has three broad topics. First topic is Kshetra and Kshetrajna. That is because the 13th chapter is the Jnana portion which starts now, Jnana Marg. So discrimination is the special quality, and discrimination between the field which is perishing and the knower of the field who is imperishable, that is very important. Kshetrajna is the knower, Kshetra is the field. The perishing the changing, and I have identified myself with the perishing and the changing, so I feel I am perishing. Identified with the mortal, I feel incomplete, finite, limited. Here is it, the discrimination is done. We saw various laws of seer and the seen, knower and the known. They are not just intellectual, they are to be actually applied in our life where we discriminate and remain unaffected. So first part is Kshetra and Kshetrajna that we have done. Here is a very small, simple video of Gurudev where he uses an analogy to explain this Kshetra and Kshetrajna.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
What a pity, you don't know. What a beauty. Early morning, the sunrise, and all that through the window. Now what I saw through the window becomes the chapter, including the window. I, the son of my father, when I am standing at the window looking at it, I become the subject, the Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna, the son of my father, has nothing to do with the window or what I am seeing there. I am independent again, no. Looking to the window, becomes the Kshetrajna, recognizing the Kshetra. Kshetra is in me only the thing that I see through the window, but the window also is an object other than me. I'm not a part of the window. The body, mind, and intellect are also belonging to the realm of object. This learning is the one who is suffering. The joys and sorrows provided by the BMI and the way. And you still I learn lessons from the learning and by. With the lamp see through the windows, no fall, freezing or wrong. I become the seer, even at the window looking out. Whatever that I see through the window, the Kshetra is really something other than the Kshetra.
Simple analogy, how, but very effective, where he uses the analogy of looking out through the window. So whatever I see, that not only that is the field, even the window, that also is the field. Same with the BMI is the window, and I am looking out through that window. So whatever I see in the world, along with this BMI, is all a part of the Kshetra. The seer, the entity, is the pure consciousness, which is Kshetrajna. This knowledge is what one needs to be unaffected by whatever is happening to the Kshetra. So the second part of this 13th chapter is Jnanam and Jnayam. How will I experience this Kshetrajna in my heart? When I have a certain subtlety of the mind through contemplation on the nature of the Kshetrajna, or what we call now as Jnaya, the pure consciousness, the self which is to be known. Person will experience that oneness. But for that the mind must be very subtle. So in the traditional path of Vedanta we have fourfold qualification: Vivek, Vairagya, Shatta Sampatti, Moksha. In this 13th chapter there are values which are given. Now these values which are given here in this 13th chapter, these values are not just values for the sake of living a morally strong, a morally upright life. These are values which will help the person to prepare the mind for contemplation. So these values can be lived at a very general level by people. If we just take the values out of context from 13th chapter and say, okay, these are good values to live, then I take them just as normal values. But if I say that no, this is as a part of the study of this 13th chapter, these values will help me to discriminate between Kshetra and Kshetrajna, and this will make my contemplation on the Kshetrajna steady. So with that attitude I live these values. So verse number 8 onwards we will see. We will chant verse number 8. In your book it is 8, right? Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirajam acharyopasanam shaucham स्थैर्यम् आत्मविनिग्रहः. So first set of values here is amanitvam, absence, so humility, absence of mana. Last time we spoke more about that, amanitvam. So because I want to know the absolute self, the lesser is the ego, the more steady will be my contemplation on the self. And which is why karma yoga and other practices are there to reduce the selfishness, reduce the ego. When the ego reduces, the person becomes more humble, less reactive, more humble, less occupied with the thoughts of the body, mind, intellect. That person can steadily contemplate on Brahman. So humility is the first quality, he says, amanitvam. Adambhitvam, absence of pride, false pride especially. What does not belong to me, I start owning that and take credit for that. That is false pride. Dhamma it is called. Mana is what belongs to me and I have pride of that. That is mana. Dhamma is what does not belong to me and I have pride of that. Like Dhritarashtra, the kingdom doesn't belong to Dhritarashtra, but how he has possessed it and he has the pride that I am the king. Same in our life. Father has worked very hard, gained certain things, but the son feels it is all mine. It is the father who did it. The son can claim rights on it and fight for it and whatever. That is Dhamma. And then to show around that, I am so great, so powerful because of that. It's false pride. So this false pride, see, first of all, mana itself will not allow me to contemplate on the truth steadily because my ego will rise again and again. That's why amanitvam. False pride though is impossible. The one is not even straightforward and honest. Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, non-injury. So ahimsa is practiced at 3 levels. At the physical level, minimum violence. Not because life subsists only on life. I cannot live without destroying any other organism, but I can live with minimum violence. Many people ask, even plants and animals, plants have life, you are eating plants, vegetarian people, you are also destroying life. That is a senseless argument. Because there it is, the plant is less developed than an animal. Senses are less developed, mind is less developed, and there is no other choice there. One has to live, life subsists only on life. And there also there are certain things where we don't want to destroy the whole plant. You can pluck the fruit, you can pluck the vegetables. So that is minimum himsa. It is not possible to have zero himsa at the physical level. Only minimum himsa is possible and we must practice that. Physically not to be violent, all that. Second is himsa through the speech. Ahimsa means not to speak to hurt people. In the 17th chapter it will come. Anudvega karam vakyam. Speak words which don't agitate people. Many times we plan how to agitate people. Plan what to tell them to disturb them, to make them feel bad, or to taunt, or to criticize. That is violence at the speech level. And the strange thing is, if somebody is not doing that and is a simple, good-natured person, the whole world will conspire against that person to make him like them. Saying, you are very bhula, you don't know how to talk, you should know how to give it back. And after that, that fellow will become so disturbed, restless, doing all that. Then they will say, now you have stress, you have BP, you have this, you have that. Now you should learn to quiet him down. So ahimsa at the speech level. Whatever has to be told can be told politely but firmly, without hurting, intending to hurt. If the opposite person gets hurt without our intending and in spite of our alertness, then that is their issue. But one has to be extremely careful. In the 17th chapter, Bhagavan will tell that Satyam, Priyam and Hitam, speak the truth, speak politely and speak for the benefit. So many people say that, Swamiji, I am very blunt. I call a spade a spade. I cannot call a spade a spade. I have to be polite in speaking. See, these are qualities for a contemplative student. If you say that, no, but in the world it doesn't apply, you have to be Rajasic, you have to do this, you have to do that, then it has these consequences also. Then face it, deal with it. Krishna has to be firm in many places. He is very firm, but he doesn't intend and hurt anybody. As much as one can, one has to do that. Unintentionally or intentionally also, one should not hurt with the speech. Because our speech has a lot of power. You see, our problem is we don't know the power of the speech. A person who has integrity of thought, word and deed, whatever that person speaks will come true. One aspect. That is called Vakshakti. Vaksiddhi it is. Second is, what we speak continuously, the mind makes it real. So 5 times if I say, I have fever, I have fever, I have fever, I have fever, to 5 different people if I say that, after some time what I will feel? Really I have fever. Because what I speak, the mind will make it real. And that's another reason why one must be very alert, not to hurt people, because when I keep thinking about that and I speak that way to hurt people, I will hurt myself only first. Because it will make it real. That's why they say 3 times if you say something, it becomes the truth. It becomes the truth means what? The mind will consider it as the truth after that. That's the psychological effect. So speak the truth, speak non-violently, speak politely. Then thought level. Ahimsa at the physical level, ahimsa at the speech level, ahimsa at the thought level. That's the subtlest ahimsa. Mentally not to hurt anybody, not to have ill will, not to have hatred. Because all these will bring the mind only to those incidences and those people. Contemplation cannot happen. Because if mentally I am disturbed, I am violent, I want to hurt people, I am planning, scheming, all that. I sit to do Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Where it is going to happen? Only the Rudra Rupa Shiva will come in my mind and I want to destroy people. That's all will come. Because that's where the mind is stuck. So even if I try to meditate, calm down the mind, again the mind will pick up some incident, some hurt, some memory. Steady contemplation not possible. So ahimsa first and foremost is practiced for myself, not to hurt me. Did I tell you that Mula Nasruddin story? I told? Last time I told me the bomb. How he puts it on his back. Because he wants to hurt the opposite person. But who will get hurt first? He. So ahimsa. Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa. Shanti is forgiveness. Suppose I am very good natured, but somebody's taken advantage of me and hurt me. Now what will I do? If I keep holding that regret, again I cannot meditate slowly. I have to forgive and let go. That forgiveness is very crucial for it. More of it I will take at the end of the class. There is a whole PPT. Let me finish the other values and I will come back to forgiveness. Shanti. Then Arjavam. Arjavam means straightforwardness. So in spiritual life, straightforwardness is very important because if straightforwardness is not there, integration of personality is not there. Straightforwardness means thought, word and deed is the same. Not thinking something, speaking something else and doing something else. Manasi ekam, vachasi ekam, karmani ekam, mahatmanam. Manasi anyat, vachasi anyat, karmani anyat, duratmanam. That's a Subhashita. Same thing in the speech, same thing in the mind, same thing at the body level. That is integration of the personality also. With such a person is called as a yogi, yukta purusha, whose BMI is integrated and definitely integrated for the right purpose. That is important. Otherwise, a terrorist thinks, speaks, acts in the same way. That is not what we are talking about. There also, honestly, if you go deeply into it, there is no integrity of thought, word and deed. Because the intention is to destroy, but the speech may be sweet to deceive people. So there is the integrity, it is not there. So integrity of thought, word and deed is straightforwardness. And only a person who is straightforward can drop the ego and realize the truth. Cunningness, because cunningness will not allow a person to surrender. Straightforwardness alone will allow a person to surrender. So two important reasons straightforwardness is required. One, for integration of the BMI so that steady contemplation can happen. Two, for surrender to happen. In Mahabharata itself you see that. Arjun, the word Arjun comes from Rujutvat Arjuna. Arjavam. Arjavam is from Rujutvat, straightforward. Because he was straightforward, he did not have a problem even in crying in front of Sri Krishna. And there he was able to surrender finally. He didn't have ego that, how can I cry first of all? How can I become weak? How can I ask for help? How can I surrender? And that too to this man who is Krishna, who is my own friend. We are equals. No such ego. On the contrary, Duryodhan, so cunning, so manipulative, He couldn't surrender to Dronacharya. He couldn't ask for guidance also. So cunningness helps, doesn't help in surrendering the ego. Straightforwardness helps. Hence, if a person wants to be a meditator, I must be straightforward. As a person only I need to be straightforward. Not that only with one or two people I am straightforward, with anybody else I am what I am. Amanitvam, Ajambitvam, Ahimsa, Shanti, Arjavam, Acharya, Upasana. The straightforwardness comes through purity of mind. This purity of mind is very important to cultivate the straightforwardness. Pandava, Pandu means purity, pure, sorry, white. Pandu means white, which means pure. And Arjuna is a Pandava. So one who is a straightforward person. If you look at the Pandavas, they all are straightforward people. Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjuna, Nakul, Sahdev, all, 5 of them straightforward. No manipulation, no cunningness, no scheming, nothing. And they are Kshatriyas, by the way. They are not Brahmanas. They are Kshatriyas who are rulers, who are kings, who have to deal with politics, but straightforward and very alert. Smartness is different from cunningness. Cunningness is manipulation. Intent only is different. Smartness is alertness, that is Sattva Guna quality, smartness. How to achieve a job most efficiently in a most, in a way in which there will be all kinds of loopholes which are removed and definite success will happen. Estimating what the competitor is going to do, being ahead of them, all that is smartness. Manipulating, pulling somebody down, telling lies, cheating, all that is not straightforward. Smartness and straightforwardness can go together. But cunningness and straightforwardness don't go together. And it is possible to achieve success with smartness and straightforwardness. Today, one of the biggest causes of stress in the world is there is no straightforwardness. Everybody has one mask. So then naturally there is going to be stress because we are not who we are. We are not appearing as we are. We are twisting, turning, doing so many things to our mind. And also straightforwardness means discretion. Doesn't mean that anybody who asks you how are you, then my whole show katha comes up in front of them. Why? Because I am very straightforward. Apply discretion. What to tell whom, that is important. You cannot keep telling everything to everybody. That's what it is, smartness, discretion, all that. But cunningness is not required. So Riju, that is Arjuna. Then Acharya Upasana. Serving the teacher. Serving the teacher means what? First of all, Acharya means Acharyatiti Acharya. One who lives what he is or she is speaking, that person is an Acharya. In the earlier days, we had both men and women who were Acharyas of the Gurukuls also. There was no gender bias in the actual Vedic age. Women were teaching also, women were learning also, everything was happening. So many women, Lopamudra, Gandhi, Vachaknavi, these are all great. They are teachers of Vedic knowledge also. There are debates. Gandhi had debate in the court of Janak Maharaj. So, what we find, Acharya means somebody who is living what they are preaching, the higher values of life. And Upasana of that Acharya means, why should I do Upasana of that Acharya? Not because the Acharya needs the Upasana, because one needs the Upasana. Service of the teacher is first and foremost to make me humble, make me receptive. Because when I serve, when I tune up with the vision of the teacher, I am around the teacher, I understand the vision of the teacher, how the person is living the daily life in each and every experience. The response of the teacher and the response of somebody else is different for the same situation. How they are rooted in the values and don't compromise. That gives the strength and clarity to the student. One aspect. Second, when we serve, we let go of our ego. Service is the simplest way to reduce the ego. Whatever the teacher needs, I will go and do, or whatever the ashram needs or the Gurukul needs, we will go and serve. No work is small. If one has to sweep the floor, one has to sweep. One will do it. And if there is some deeper, subtler work that has to be done, one will do that also. One doesn't have an ego about that. Shabari used to serve her teacher, Matanga Rishi. And what service she used to do? Gupta Seva. Secret service. Why? Because nobody should know. And anyway, she was a tribal woman, and people were not liking that, she must be given knowledge and all that. But she was wanting that knowledge very deeply. So when everybody is sleeping in the night, she will come into the ashram and she will clean up the whole ashram and water the plants and keep everything ready. She was not even staying in the ashram. She used to live on the treetops. So they didn't give her place. So she used to do quiet seva, but very, very pure in her heart. And his disciples were very jealous of her. But the Guru knows her adhikar, and the Guru wanted to show them. So one day when these people went to take a bath in Pampa river, they suddenly saw that the whole Pampa river is infested with worms. They couldn't take bath. So the Guru said that anybody who is pure in thought, word and deed has to go and take a dip there, and the river will be purified. None of them went there. Shabari went. And as soon as she entered into that river, what happened? Clean. All of them understood that so much learning which they are going through, still they don't feel that they are pure in thought, word and deed. And here is somebody who is serving. So they had Jnana Ahankar also. She did not have Jnana Ahankar. She was pure in her thought. She was dedicated to the Guru. And the Guru said, before he dropped the body, the Guru said, Bhagwan will come here. And she had such faith in the Guru. All the disciples left the ashram and went away when the Guru dropped the body. She lived there, continued to serve, continued to clean, continued to keep everything ready that today Bhagwan will come. And for years she did that. Not 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. 5 days if we do that and Bhagwan does not come, what will we say? When Bhagwan comes, I'll keep it quickly I'll go and make arrangements for that. She has become old. But the power of her tapas is such, the Acharya Seva that she did, and the faith in the Acharya's words that she had, power of her tapas is, when Bhagwan gives Kaban, his feet automatically turn towards Shabari's ashram. Shabari ke ashram padudhara. Bhagwan did not go there knowing that Shabari is dead. As a human role that he played, he was not aware of Shabari. But he turned there. The power of her devotion and her service is that. Acharya Upasanam is for that. When we serve, we give up our attachment, we give up our ego, we serve with surrender. Automatically, Bhagwan enters into our heart. So what is Acharya Seva to be done? Again, Acharya Seva is done at 4 levels. A very beautiful shloka, you can repeat after me. Dhyanam Guror Murtihi Puja Moolam Guru Padam Mantra Moolam Guror Vakyam Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. This is Dhyana Moolam Guru Murti. With the heart, meditate on the form of the Guru. Why? Because that symbolizes emotional surrender to the teacher. Otherwise, we will be stuck with some relationships, people, our attachment will be there. Emotions need to channelize. So either towards Ishvara or towards the Guru. Bhakti. Dhyana Moolam Guru Murti. Visualize the form of the teacher. Puja Moolam Guru Padam. Serve the feet of the teacher. Meaning do physical seva also. And do the seva of the teacher as the teacher needs, not as you like to do. It is very important. Otherwise, one does the seva as per one's own convenience, not as per what the teacher needs. And there also, when seva is done, one has to be non-possessive about the seva. Otherwise, people become possessive about the seva also. A famous story is there, that the Guru had two disciples, and every day this Guru will, every night these two disciples will do seva to the Guru. So they will press the feet of the Guru. One day these two disciples had a fight in the morning. Both are very upset with each other. Evening they are pressing the feet of the Guru. By mistake, the hand of disciple A hit the other leg of the Guru, which was being massaged by disciple B. So that disciple B got very angry, saying, "How dare you hit my leg? I will hit your leg." He is hitting the disciple A wala leg. Disciple A is again hitting disciple B wala leg. And who is getting hurt actually? The Guru is getting hurt. Guru is saying, "It's not your leg, it's my leg." People become very possessive. Suppose you gave some seva to somebody, you have to bring food, you have to arrange the altar, you have to take care of the publicity. Some seva one gives. And for some time that person is doing that seva. If somebody else comes in that way, one should accommodate quietly, nicely. But sometimes we become very possessive. Why won't you bring? Why did you bring? Because the person feels that my importance is gone now. Then the purpose of seva only is gone. Acharya Upasanam is for what? To reduce the ego, to reduce possessiveness. Now I am using that only to become possessive. So many examples of devotees who have served the teacher with this bhav, Acharya Upasanam, and realized the truth. One of the greatest disciples of Shankaracharya, his name is Giri. Giri used to travel with Shankaracharya and he will take care of all the requirements of Shankaracharya in terms of food, clothes, all that. He will wash the clothes, wash the utensils, prepare the food, everything. But he is also a genius, so he wants to know. So he will go and sit behind and he will listen. And again after the class is over, he will go finish the work and all that. But he would not remember so much. He was not an intellectual person like, Sureshwaracharya or that way. He was a devout person, service-oriented person. So he used to serve. And he would listen to the teacher also. One day, these students, they have all assembled and the teacher is there, Shankaracharya, and he's not starting the class. So they are wondering why he's not starting the class. So he said, because Giri has to come. And all of them sitting there, they are all sannyasis. And he is an ordinary person who is serving. So they got a pride. We have left everything and come. We are sitting here. And we have to wait for this boy. He is just a servant. Shankaracharya understood this is what they are feeling. So when Giri came, he finished washing the clothes and he came. So Shankaracharya said, Giri, come here. Today you will take the class. All of them were stunned. What? But the teacher said it. So he said, okay, he came. He didn't say, no, I can't take, how will I take? Nothing. Teacher called, teacher said, you take, please. It is teacher's job now. He has to do it. He came. And out from him came out this fantastic composition, Totakashtakam. In a meter called Totaka meter, he wrote 8 verses on the glory of Shankaracharya. And who is Shankaracharya? Beautiful composition. Vidita Kala Shastra Siddha Jagadhe Mahito Upanishad Kathika Arthamide Hridaye Kalaye Vimalam Charanam Mahashankara Deshikameshwari. And every paragraph ends with that line. Bhava Shankara Deshikameshwaram. That may Lord, may Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji be my refuge. Deshikam is teacher. May this teacher, Lord Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, be my refuge. The disciple who becomes empty, the purpose of Acharya Seva is to become empty, to become zero. I don't exist. Whatever is my teacher alone. Full stop. If the teacher says jump, jump. Samas Ramdas had a disciple like that. And he again wanted to demonstrate to his disciples the glory of surrender. So one day there is a program happening, and there is bhajan, kirtan also is happening, and everybody is in dancing and all that. Samas Ramdas also got up and he was dancing. And then he came into a Ugra room, as though Narsimha avatar type. And when he came in that Ugra room, there is a disciple of his called Kalyani. He held the head of Kalyani and there was a sword nearby. He took that sword and he was as though going to finish off the head, chop off this head of this Kalyani. And this Kalyani was smiling away with folded hands. If the Guru wants to chop off my head, chop it off. I have no problem. All of them standing there, they were stunned. What is happening here? There was not a trace of fear on the face of Kalyani. Because he said, I have surrendered to the Guru. If the Guru feels I must die, I will die, no problem. Not a single thought that, what is happening, why is he, has he gone mad? Nothing. That is called becoming zero. Our own Gurudev was also like that. Tapovan Maharaj, his surrender to Tapovan Maharaj is complete. Acharya Upasana, how much seva he also did. Tapovan Maharaj told him, go down to the Ganges and bring buckets of water and build a garden here in Uttarkashi outside his kutyar. Not because he wanted a garden, because Gurudev is young and some seva has to be given also for him. And it is down there, it's not easy. One has to walk down, stony path is there, then go to the Ganga, take the water, come back. Whatever Tapovan Maharaj said, he will do. He will make roti also. Tapovan Maharaj sometimes will show the roti and say that, in Himalayas also we don't get to give up tapas. Because the roti will not be round, it will not be soft. He will stitch the clothes, many things he will do. And when he used to speak, if somebody tells him, Swamiji, you spoke so well today, he will say, it is all that old man's glory. He used to call Tapovan Maharaj that way sometimes. To the students, he will say, it is that old man's glory. Sometimes he will say, it is Tapovanam, Swami Tapovanam who speaks through me. Sometimes somebody will ask him, Swamiji, this is what you said in the class. After this, what did you say? I forgot, can you please tell me? He will say, I don't know. Because I am also listening like you. Because who is speaking? Swami Tapovan is speaking. So that is the thing. So Dhyana Moolam Guru Abhuti. Emotionally, when one has surrendered to the teacher, Puja Moolam Guru Abhuti, one serves the teacher. Then in that service, surrender happens. Mantra Moolam Guru Vakyam. What the Guru says is the mantra. Meditate on it, reflect on it. In these three we do. physically serve the teacher, emotionally surrender to the teacher, intellectually meditate, contemplate on what the teacher has said, then moksha milam guru kripa. Moksha one attains by the kripa of the guru. That's what this is Acharya Upasana. A person can serve at all the levels. Then Shaucham. Shaucham means cleanliness. Again, cleanliness at the physical level, cleanliness in the mind. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are 6 impurities of the mind. One has to overcome these 6. Be clean in the thoughts, pure in the thoughts. All this comes when my goal of life becomes Brahman. Then automatically everything will fall into place. If I want to know who am I truly, what is my true nature, then I will automatically follow. Otherwise, I will keep questioning. Why should I be honest? Why should I be selfless? Why should I be pure? Why should I be forgiving? Simple answer. You want to know your own true nature? Do this. We are not doing any of this for somebody else. We are doing it for aligning our BMI to transcend the BMI in contemplation. So, Shaucham, cleanliness. Acharya Upasana Shaucham. Sthiryam is steadiness. The mind is very fickle. It changes the goals, it changes the means. Steadiness means steadiness of the goal and steadiness of the means, both. Many times we change our targets, we change our goals. Sometimes we feel very inspired and say, yes, I want moksha. After some time we say, I think we should have some realistic targets. Moksha may not happen in this life. Something else we set up as a target. Steadiness. What is the goal? Once I fix it, I just stay focused on it. And then appropriate means when I have chosen, be steady in that and consistent in using the means. Suppose I say japa, then every day do the japa with the bhav that Bhagavan will give darshan today. Steadiness in that. If I say seva, then be steady in the seva. It can be a combination also, bhakti and seva and all that also. But whichever means I adopt. Suppose I say chakra meditation, then do that. Don't keep jumping in the means. Asthirata of the means. If you are trying, there may be a phase where one is trying some things out. That is not a problem. But once I come to a conclusion that this is what appeals to me, then be steady in that. And this steadiness is not only for the goal and the means, steadiness in every aspect of life. Very decisive one should be, not tentative, not indecisive. Again, one of the biggest causes of stress is indecisiveness. When I have a lot of choice and I am not able to decide, then I will be stressed out. Even in ordinary things like wearing clothes, one is stressed out. There are so many clothes one has, now which one to wear today? Stress. So even in small things, to be decisive, okay, this is what it is for today. Yes. Shaucham, Sthiryam, Atma Vinigraha is control of the mind. Not to be reactive, try and be as much objective as possible. Not to agitate the mind, keep it calm and quiet. These are all methods to tune up the mind to discriminate between the knower and the known. So this is verse number 8. Now verse number 9. Indriyateshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. So indriyateshu vairagyam, dispassion towards sense objects. The more the mind runs behind the sense objects, the more extroverted it will be. So it cannot be steady in contemplation. One has to identify. Like how one goes, sometimes in the earlier days one used to go for hunting. Like that one has to hunt all those tendencies which make me become extrovert. There will be specific sense objects towards which we have attachment. It can be food, and in food it can be a specific food item. It can be seeing maybe a movie or a particular, anything, a magazine I'm reading, anything. But in that there will be a specific attachment. Some types of movies, some types of serials, some types of magazines, there will be an attachment there. And the mind wants that. It will crave for it. If you don't give it, it will feel suffocating. Those are the deep attachments which the mind will run towards again and again. So Vairagya is Indriyartheshu Vairagya. Like how childhood toys we rise above, like that to rise above all these objects which are tempting to me. That's earlier what we have discussed in the earlier chapters as sense control. Controlling the senses and also weeding out the specific dependencies. Which is why we have Vrat, we have tapas. So if I am specifically attached to chocolate, then we say for 1 year I will not eat chocolate. And in that 1 year, not only absist from eating chocolate, but also think about the harmful effects of it. Find a better substitute. Change the entire importance I give to that in my mind. And shift to something more healthy. See the benefit of that. Then I am out of that dependency of chocolate. It does not happen just by saying I won't eat for 1 year. I have to do all these other things. Then I will drop. So Indriyartheshu Vairagya. So a meditator must identify what are those sense objects towards which my mind is very deeply attracted. And one of the simplest ways to know about that is when I am exhausted or when I am tired, what do I do for relaxation? That is one of the ways to find out what the mind is attached to. No, but I will go natural no songs. If I like music and I'm tired and exhausted and I'm listening to music, what is wrong in that? Nothing wrong in that. As long as it is not a deep attachment, there is nothing wrong in that. It is just one of the ways. But many times there is a deep attachment towards that because the mind just goes there. Sometimes it is an unhealthy thing also, it will go there. Like how we do nowadays. If one is stressed out, what is the solution? Drink. If one is celebrating, what is the solution? Drink. But I am not attached to drink. Whom are we deceiving? So mind has to identify like that. What are the things I am very deeply attached to? Some type of food, some types of visuals, some types of conversations. So many things one is attached to. The mind will automatically run behind this. Not to have any tempting object out there without which I cannot be happy. That is Indriyartheshu Vairagya. Is there any childhood toy towards which we are tempted? If there is a temptation now for any childhood toy, then we will be in some other place of mind. Terrible way to do. Don't bring the Barbie doll in front of me. I get very tempted by it. I don't bring these cars or train or so many things, marbles. No one has that kind of a temptation because one has dropped it completely. Just like it is possible to rise above all the toys of childhood, the sense objects in the world are toys actually. In earlier 5th chapter, so it came that Nateshu Ramate Buddha. Wise person will not revel in those at all. So Indriyartheshu Vairagya is that, where one has deep Vairagya, where one has risen above. It's not an aversion, it is not hating that or a dislike, it's an One is reason above it saying that these are incapable of giving me what I really want. Just rise above it. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Anahankara. So there mana and dhamma was said. Amanutvam adamutvam. That was for things. This is for doership. Anahankara means to know that I am not a karta, I am only an instrument. Anahankara evacha. Then he says Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. This is a very important line. To see constantly. Darshanam means to see. Anudarshanam means constantly I should see. What should I see? Dukkha and dosha. See, Indriyartheshu Vairagyam comes by this. If I see the pain as well as the limitation of what? Janma, birth. How much pain is there at birth? Think about it. The whole world is very happy. Hooray, new child is born, new baby is born. And Rabindranath Tagore said also, every child that is born is an assurance that God has not yet lost faith in humanity. So birth is celebrated generally, there is no doubt. But the pangs of new birth, are they there or not? The mother also is going through tremendous pain, the child also is going through pain. And does not really want to be born again. Janma, one has to think about it. And to be born as what? As human, not guaranteed. It can be any birth. Any type of birth is a pain. So much pain will be involved in that. How many times one will keep coming back into the womb and keep taking birth? If I keep thinking of that, it is said that what is the pain in the womb for the jiva? Like how the metal is cast into a murti. So the iron pieces are put into the furnace. So hot furnace it is. And the iron is put into this for melting it. Then it will be put into a cast. Then the murti is formed. So that furnace, how it is, so hot, where the iron melts. Just imagine our body, the bones, etc. are being formed. How are they formed? So, how the iron is melted into the furnace, in that way it is so hot inside and the body is being formed. The more one thinks about the pain of birth, you see there is a video of how the fetus is formed inside and how the baby is born. If you see that video, it will make us so disgusted, saying, I don't want to come back again. Because it's terrible how the whole baby is formed, how much difficulty it is for the mother and the baby both, and then the pangs of the birth itself. So, Janma, the more one reflects on the dukkha and the dosha, the limitation and the sorrow. Janma, mrityu, how much pain at the time of death also. No, Swamiji, I know people who have died peacefully in sleep. No doubt physically they exited in sleep. But if the mind is attached to the body, it will not go so easily, it will go through pain. If the good karma is there, the ejection from the body is not so painful. But when the moment the mind has got ejected out of it, it will be in a state of shock, hearing what happened. Because it was thinking of itself as this body for so long. Mrityu has its own repercussions. If I am not prepared for my final exit, there will be confusion, there will be pain, there will be sorrow, and it will be compounded. Why? Because now I am out of the body, so I am in a subtler state. I can connect to everybody whom I am attached to, and their sorrow I can feel. So now how much more pain I have. Earlier it was only my individual sorrow. I saw somebody crying, I can understand their sorrow. Now I can actually feel because I am in a subtler state, I am connected to them. So Janma also is dukkha, Mrityu also is dukkha. What all I collected, everything I am taken away from. Things, people, everything. Suddenly gone in a moment. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, old age, everything. How many problems in old age? Can't eat properly, can't hold the pen properly, can't listen properly, can't walk properly. So much dependency. And the most tragic part of that is there will not be anybody with me at that time. Because children have become young, they have their life, they have their career, all that to do. So I am alone. Maximum, if good karma I have, there will be some maid servant or somebody. And are we not seeing that today that sometimes the servants only are killing the senior citizens for wealth and money and all that? Old age is so much of a pain. And diseases will happen so fast in old age. Bones have become so brittle. And typically what happens? One slip and finished. Fracture, hip gone, knee gone, something keeps happening. And still the bhav in the mind of human being is I will become old and die. I will not die young. And if somebody dies young, one says, अकाल मृत्यु हो गया. Honestly, उसकी मृत्यु अच्छे काल में हो गई. Because didn't have to go through pain of old age. So janma, mrityu, jara and vyadhi, disease. How much the body goes through disease? Actually, one of the ways to get vairagya from the body is to know that the body is vyadhi mandira only. Is an abode of disease. So if I reflect more and more on these four, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, the dukkha of these and the dosha of these. And he says Anudarshanam, again and again I have to see this. Then the deep vairagya comes. That what am I doing in this life? Pampering this body, making this body enjoy, which is anyway going to die, which is already a bundle of blood and filth. Whole life is meant towards this. And identified with this body, I have ego. I am Mr. So and so, son of so and so, achieve this, achieve that. And in 1 minute, what happens? Body drop. So many dohas of Kabirdas, so beautiful they are. माटी कहे कुमार से तू क्या रोंधे मोए, एक दिन ऐसा होएगा मैं रोंधूंगी. So many of them. लकड़ी कहे लोहार से तू मत जा रहे मोए. That you are cutting me today, one day I will be burning you. These are all to induce vairagya in the mind that what are we obsessed with. Siddhartha thought so very clearly. When he saw first time, he saw Janma Mrityu, he saw birth, not Janma, he saw Mrityu, death, he saw Vyadhi, disease, he saw Jara, old age. And he started reflecting, and when he had a satsang with the sannyasi, it opened his eyes. He left. See, I want to find the real source of happiness. This is not what I want to be stuck with. So, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshana. Again and again one has to do. Why? Because moha is very strong in the mind. Even though Jnana is there, that happiness is not in the world, why is that Jnana not making me turn giddy? One of the reasons is moha is very strong. And moha can go only by vivek. Vivek arises through this. Dukkha dosha anudarshanam. Again and again see. So one is to see specific objects and their limitations, indriyartheshu vairagyam, and other is to see in general birth, death, disease, life, birth, disease and old age. They are pain by themselves, each of them. And the beauty is, body goes through all these. The kshetra goes through this. Kshetrajna is not going through this. But unfortunately, I have attached myself to this so much that I feel I am born, I am going to grow old, I am going to be, sick, and I am going to die. It is actually the body going through all this. I can be the sakshi of death also. And I am the sakshi of death, actually speaking, whether I know it or not. Death also comes and goes. In this pure consciousness, the body rises, case falls. So, janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. Then the 10th one. Asat tirana vishwangaha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam Ishtanishtopapatishu. So he says asaktihi, non-attachment, meaning detachment, not to be dependent on anything for happiness. Anabhishwangaha, not identified with the body, with the putra dara vihadishu, with child, spouse and home. Don't go home and say that I am practicing this asaktirana vishwanga putradara grihadishu. I have nothing to do with you. You are not my child anymore, you are not my spouse anymore, this is not my house anymore. It is non-identification, not rejecting them or dumping them or going away. Putra means all those who depend on me. Dara means all those on whom I depend. So it's actually asakti, the elaboration of asakti is this. No dependency on the child, no dependency on the spouse. Meaning not to allow anybody to depend on me and I don't depend on anybody. Psychologically. And griha is the attachment to the house, which is karma phala asakti. That the house is a result of my karmas. I have done so much. I have worked hard. I have got this house built. It is my house. Functionally, it is required to know it is my house. But psychologically, to be attached to that, that is called asakti towards that. So he says, anabhishwangaha putra dara grihadishu. So what should be my attitude? Simple attitude. I have a child, Bhagavan has put me here to provide the right environment to the child to exhaust his karma or her karma. I have a spouse, Bhagavan has put me here. I am here, both of us are walking the path of dharma. In the Ramayana, when Bhagavan Ram is married to Sita Ji, Janak Maharaj gives the hand of Sita Ji to Bhagavan Ram and says, Iyam Sita Mama Suta Saha Dharmacharini Tava. This Sita, my daughter, is now your Saha Dharmacharini. She is going to walk the path of Dharma with you. So both of them complementing and completing each other, they walk the path. But same time one should know that I am alone. It is between me and Bhagavan. Everybody else who is there, they are an instrument of the Lord only, and I am serving Bhagavan. House is a convenience I have to shelter this body. Yes. Putra dara grihadishu. Nityam cha samachittatvam. Always to maintain equanimity. Ishta anishta upapattishu. In favorable or unfavorable circumstances. These things we have done earlier, so I am not going into the details of this. Equanimity of the mind, not to allow it to get carried away by the extremes. to face them as they come without getting overwhelmed by the extremes. Then the last one, 11th verse. Mai chananya yogena bhaktiravyavicharini viviktadesha sevitvam aratirjana samsadi. One more actually after this. So, Mai chananya yogena bhaktiravyavicharini. He says, have Ananya Bhakti, single pointed devotion to the Lord, and Avyabhicharini Bhakti. It's a very powerful word and it's like a tight slap on the face. Vyabhichara means prostitution. Avyabhichara means being loyal to only one. When our heart, the love in our heart is invested in so many things and people, then what is balance left? That devotion we offer to Bhagavan. That is called Vyabhichari Bhakti. Avyabhichari Bhakti means I love the Lord wholeheartedly, and because I love the Lord, I love everybody else and I serve them. So the attitude is I don't love somebody only because of them, I love them because Bhagavan is manifesting through them in the form of these qualities that they have and what they are doing for me. That then the devotion is single pointed. Ananya it is called. So Maichananya Yogena Bhakti Ravya Vicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratir Jana Samsadi. Solitude, the ability to be by oneself, not to escape. Today's world is very important. We don't get time at all for ourselves. Even if we are away from people, we are with phone, technology, so many things which we have to escape. Solitude means to be completely by oneself. And real meaning of solitude is to be with that Supreme which is one. Withdraw from all the other forms of duality and be with the one. That is deepest meaning of solitude. Because there is only one Supreme Truth. But the simpler meanings of solitude are to spend time by oneself, not escaping. So not trying to go here, there, meet people, speak whatever we want to. Be by oneself, introspect, make the mind deeper, meditate, read something creative. If one wants to spend time in solitude constructively, this is what one does. And sometimes one doesn't even do this. Mentally to be free from all sorts of habitual dependencies, that is called solitude. No japa also one does, no reading also, nothing. Just be by oneself as a witness, as a sakshi. Whatever comes, one just observes it goes, observes it goes. No engagement with that. That is called solitude. Deepest level of solitude comes that. That sakshi is the one, supreme. So initially being away from people helps the mind to turn middle. Otherwise we are so many times obsessed with what people are doing, what they are talking, what they are thinking about me. Mind keeps thinking. Even when we are away from people, if this happens, think about it. When we are with people, how much the mind will be conscious all the time. Solitude is to take time away from all these pressures of society and image and thinking about what people are thinking, all that. And avoid all the other distractions. Be by oneself. Vivikta Desha. Once in 15 days at least one should practice some solitude, if not every day or once in a week. At least once in 15 days. Mount Vrat during that time also will help. Mount Vrat during the time when I am with people, some amount of Mount Vrat can help to become introvert. If I cannot completely withdraw from people, at least become silent for some time in a day. That will also help. Vivikta Desha Seditva. Here literally it means retire into a solitary place. Aratir Jana Samsadi. No excitement to be with the people all the time. Jana Rati. Rati means to travel, to enjoy. So I enjoy the company of people. All the time I need somebody. Here he says there is no such craving. If people are there, good. If people are not there, very good. But he is happy that. Aratir Jana Samsadi. All this will happen when I am also able to focus steadily on spiritual knowledge. So the 12 rules. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanatha darshanam etat jnanamiti proktam Ajnanam yagato yatha. So this is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. Constancy in self-knowledge. Adhi means self. Atma. Adhi means inside. Self means Atma. Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam means constancy in pursuit of self-knowledge. So listening, reflecting, contemplation. That's the pursuit. Constancy in that. And tattva jnanartha darshanam, the ability to abide in the essential nature of mind. What the jnana, adhyatma jnana is saying, that you are Brahman, the ability to abide in that is called tattva jnanartha darshanam. So all those qualities which we saw, they help us to discriminate. Ultimately, so that I can listen, reflect, contemplate steadily, and come to abide in that self. And know that I am not the kshetra, I am the kshetrajna, and wake up to the Supreme. This Bhagavan calls as jnana. Etat jnanam iti proktam, ajnanam yadato yatha. In the eyes of Bhagavan, everything else is ajnana. Only these qualities. He says real knowledge is this. And the strange part is some of this is not even there in our whole education. So from Bhagavan's standpoint, we may be PhD, double PhD, but from our standpoint, we are PhD, double PhD. From Bhagavan's standpoint, we are. Because for him, this is ajnanam yadatom yatha. Rest is all ignorance. Why? Because it is dealing with that which is kshetra. It is not telling me or equipping me to know that I am the kshetrajna, I am the self, I am the pure consciousness, I am already what I seek. Supreme happiness is already my nature. As the self, not as the individual. So now having said this, I told you that forgiveness, I will come to that one part. So what is forgiveness? A small girl replied that it is the wonderful fruits that the trees give us while we hurl sticks and stones at them. Such a nice definition. Gurudev used to say forgiveness is the scent that the rose leaves on the heel that crushes it. Tulsi leaves on the very hand that crushes it. Sandalwood perfumes the very axe that cuts it. Technically, forgiveness means this: the process of ceasing to feel resentment, anger towards the offender or the guilty. I must let go of that resentment and that anger. If somebody has hurt me, I have felt bad. That process by which I let go, anger and resentment, both. And I free myself. That is called forgiveness. Because this anger and resentment builds in our mind, and that is what many times translates into psychosomatic diseases and problems also. Every night, in fact, I must learn to forgive Ask for forgiveness and forgive people. That's the way one should actually end the day. In our tradition, we end it like that only. We will ask for forgiveness from Bhagavan first. Karacharanatam va kayajam karmajam va shravananayajam va manasappa paradham vihitam avihitam va sarvam etat kshamasva jaya jaya karnathe Shri Mahadeva Shambho. O Supreme Ocean of Compassion, Lord Shambho, please forgive me for anything I have done knowingly or unknowingly, by my body, speech, mind, actions, by my senses. Please forgive. And I also forgive anybody who has offended me. Every life one should forgive and let go. Why? Because when we forgive, there is immediate peace. Otherwise, we only burn. So Gurudev used to say that God gives and forgives, man gets and forgets. So when we don't forgive, we hurt ourselves more and more and more, again and again. So it is more for myself, to free myself actually. And it is making the other person successful if I am not forgiving. Because that person intended to hurt me. That person intended and hurt me once, and now I am hurting myself again and again, reliving that memory. So who has become successful? The person's agenda is achieved. They wanted to hurt me. And they have become doubly successful because not only did they hurt me, now they put me into a mechanism where I am only hurting myself. So very important it is. Secret of long life also is to forgive everyone and everybody before one goes to bed. That is the health aspect. Documented research is available of how people, when they are penting up resentment, guilt, anger, they suffer so much. And then when they are able to let go of that, their whole health also changes. It improves so easily. Because forgiveness is like that. It helps me to drop. To avoid victimization and revenge. You see, Karna's whole life went in victimization. And Duryodhana's whole life went in not even basically he doesn't need to take revenge actually, but he felt like that. And he is the one who tried to keep on insulting the Pandavas. So revenge and victimization, to avoid that, forgive. Accept people and love them truly, and know very well that I also make mistakes. We cannot forgive many times because we feel, how can somebody make a mistake or somebody do wrong against me? But we also make. So when I learn to accept people as they are, and I love them truly, I will let go. I will forgive. Expression of detachment and flowing with life. Not everything will happen as per what we want. Not everybody will behave with us as we want them. Flow with it. So forgiveness is important for these reasons. And it is a very, very important aspect of a strong person. Many people think forgiveness is weakness. When I have the ability to retaliate and I still don't retaliate and I let go and I forgive, that is the quality of the strong. Shama hi shaktasya param vibhushanam. And the weak can never forgive. Also, forgiveness does not mean that there is no retaliation. There is a beautiful relationship between forgiveness and retaliation. I will come to that. The word used in this 13th chapter is Kshanti, means forgiveness. Here it is Kshama. Mother Earth is called as Kshama. And it is said that Bhagavan Ram was like Mother Earth in this quality of forgiveness. A very nice Subhashita says, Kshama Shastram Kare Yasya Dujjana Kim Karishyati Atrine Patito Vannihi Swayamevo Ushamyati. When a person has the weapon of forgiveness, what can wicked people do to that person? 108 times a person spat on Eknath Maharaj, but he had the weapon of forgiveness for him. That person couldn't hurt him at all. Atrine patito vanihi. When fire falls on sand, what happens? An ember, no? Coal. An ember, when it falls on sand, what will happen? It will just get put off because there is nothing to fuel it. But the same ember, if it falls on paper or grass or something, what will happen? It will burn it. Same way, forgiveness is like the sand. It will just diffuse any pent up anger, resentment, let go. So, what are the levels in forgiveness? In the first level, when somebody hurts me, I retaliate with them, I give them back, I hurt them back, and then I may forgive later. In the second level, I warn them, I don't take, I don't take it to heart. I may feel hurt, but I warn them, I forgive them once, I don't retaliate. Third level, I will forget and forgive out of reasoning. That because of this thing, the person was disturbed. And in that disturbance, the person did this. Some reasoning I have. Many times I can forgive out of love. Because there is love, my child will do. It's okay, I love the child. In the emotion of love, I can forgive and let go. But level number 5 is where I need to forgive from inside, but it is my duty, I will have to fight outside. Which is what the Geeta teaches. This is what I was looking for. This is very difficult. He has to fight, but he cannot have resentment against him. Fight because it's a duty now. Kshatriya Dharma it is. Arjuna has to destroy the relatives who are on the wrong side. But he cannot hate them because that will hit him back. That will be his own negative karma. From karmic standpoint also it is very important to forgive because the more I harbor hatred and revenge, the more negative karma I am drawing to myself. You see, Bhagwan Ram, it will come ahead also. He told Ravana that I have no enmity against you. You return Sita, the war ends here. But Ravana didn't listen. Bhagwan unarmed him completely, disarmed him actually. Bhagwan would have killed him that day. He said, return Sita and I stop you here only. He didn't return Sita. Bhagwan said, okay, I forgive you for your mistake you have done. Go back, think. And if you still feel you want to fight, then come tomorrow. And Ravan came the next day. And then what Bhagwan did the next day? Finished it. That's the connection. Forgive inside and fight outside. He didn't have any enmity against Ravan inside. Not a moment. So why don't we forgive if countries attack us? Because the Kshatriya Dharma it is. To protect, to defend. When to sacrifice and when to fight, we should know that or not. When Bharat came to ask Bhagwan to come back, Bhagwan said, no, you take the kingdom and you rule the kingdom. And he did not hold any grudge against Bharat or Kaikeyi. But when Ravan took away Sita ji, there also he applied forgiveness saying, I don't have hatred against you, but if you don't return Sita, I will have to destroy you. And he destroyed. What is the difference? He could have destroyed him on the first day itself. The difference is on the first day, if he had destroyed him, that would have been like a personal vengeance, animosity against Ravana. But he told Ravana, I don't have any enmity against you. In fact, when Ravana died, Vibhishan didn't want to commit the Agni Samskar also. Bhagwan told him that with the person, the karma also is gone. That why are you carrying forward the hatred and dvesh in your heart? You have to leave and forgive Ravana and do your duty. Because you don't do your duty, you are getting negative. So forgive him and do your duty. So this is a very unique aspect of forgiveness. One is you can forgive out of love, out of reasoning. But other is when I have to forgive but fight also. One should be clear, from my heart have I forgiven or not? And then why am I fighting? There may be some duty involved then only. If there is even a trace of personal selfishness or something, then this will not happen properly. The last is not to take offense at all. The highest level of forgiveness is not even to take an offense. There is a question of forgiveness if I don't take offense. Gurudev used to give this example. You will see that. The finger poking the eye. We won't take offense at all. This is the video. Have you seen this before?
Right. In order to develop this love, which is natural for everyone, in yourself, from top, the crown, to the tip of your toe, you love you. See that? Even though the hands are not the legs are not the toes are not the fingers, the finger is not like the nose is not like the ears. Every part is different in shape, in name, and in function. What the eyes can do, the ears cannot do. What the nose can do, the tongue cannot do. They have different functions. What the hands can do, the head can never do. Within me, myself, there are so many different shapes, forms, purposes, or functions. And yet, am I not one? From the tip of the toe to the top of my crown, am I not one? How do you feel that is oneness? The hand is not the leg, the leg is not the thumb is not the nose, and yet I say it is one. How? I pervade every cell in you. You may be 250 pounds, 6-footer, with 60 chest. And if I bring a pin and say that for what you have done, we have decided that the pin must be put in, you choose, because democracy, you choose where should be put. Right? In that huge body, this little pin, you cannot choose any place. You choose every place and say, no, 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 no. Until at last you say, if you must put the pin, why not try it on my neighbor? Why? Because every cell you love equally. Because you know that it is me. Within your body you have got the feeling. In your body also. It is very often happens that your own finger goes to your own eyes. Has it not happened to you? Have you not beaten your own tongue? Even if you are the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, sense of justice, will you say that this finger unnecessarily went and hit the eyes was always serving the finger whenever it was doing any work, is unprovoked aggression. Let's set up, let us go and chop off the finger as an example for the entire body politic, that there must be discipline in the body. Will you say that? When it is your own finger that goes to your eyes, immediately all the 5 fingers together as a committee goes to the eyes and start rubbing it. And then silently say, I am sorry, I never meant it. Isn't it? The eyes know watering. It is a rain. But we can't even open the eyes. But I open the eyes and look at the finger and silently say, I know it. And I forgive my finger, isn't it? Supposing it is the finger of the man who is sitting next to you, can you realize? Your sense of justice is cut his finger off. Let him learn how to. Why? He is something different from me. My friends, when you start really analyzing it, the whole world is your body. Just as every cell in you is so sacred, every living being in the outer world, every mineral piece in the world outside is a part of you. It is not anything other than you. With this understanding when comes a sense of goodwill towards all living beings, that they are not separate from me. Service then becomes not just service before self or after self. It will be service as when let us say, calf muscle is scratching, my hand goes and scratches. Does the hand ever say, leg, if you are scratching, you scratch. Why should I do it? What will you give me for scratching? No, I run there and do it, isn't it? Why? The joy of that is the joy of the whole body. It is not only the leg, but in the hand also, the comfort comes to the hand also. In the same way, wherever there is sorrow that I see, I run there and try to remove and wipe off as much as possible the tears of others, not because they are others, but they are my own self. If this universal vision has come, and this is what Vedanta asks you, all the devotees are seeing Ram everywhere, meaning that one reality everywhere. Once you see that, the sense of plurality goes away. These distinctions at national level, or communal level, or even individual level, was all wiped out into one divine presence. With this unfoldment in yourself, you shall find that the world is preserved. Even now the world is not destroyed. Only you create a destruction for yourself in the world, that's all. You make a hell of this world, but the world is staying there. If you stop doing this mischief, the world will reorganize itself. Learn to serve others without selfishness.
So that's the focus of basis of forgiveness, the vision of oneness. So next week we will be concluding this 13th chapter. The third part is, so Jnanam we have seen, the Jnaya we have to see, and then Prakriti and Purusha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri